What's up, guys? Wanted to jump on really quick and share with you how I made $6,305 yesterday in about 40 minutes. And that's an exact figure after Stripe fees, by the way. So, by the way, if you don't know who I am, my name's Nick Wood. I try to post a video a couple times a week talking about my journey of building a rank and rent agency, which is building and renting simple websites. If you don't know what the business model is, you simply build a website in a local service niche, you rank it on Google, you then rent it out to a local business owner, and you get paid passively or semi-passively every single month, okay? So anyway, lately I've been trying to go back to what really worked for me back in 2020. 2020 was, by the way, I just noticed I got something of my daughter's like sweatpants or something back here, dad life. Anyway, I've been going back to what really worked for me in 2020 because 2020 was the year I had the most growth. It wasn't the year I made the most money necessarily, but it's the year I had the most growth. I went from averaging 10K a month, barely, to $100,000 per month by July of 2020. So in an 8-month period, at the end of 2019, I was doing 10K. In July of 2020, I was doing 100K. So I had this huge growth. So I've been going back like, what the heck was I doing that I was absolutely just crushing life, crushing business like that? And one of the things that I was doing that I have gotten away from is I was personally making an offer every single day. I was personally asking somebody to spend money with me every blessed day. And of course I wasn't perfect, but I tried very, very hard to make sure that every single day, at least one person, sorry, try to get that light off me, at least one person was asked for money. So I'm sitting there yesterday and I'm like, okay, who can I ask for money? Who can I ask for money? Who's got my money today? And I've got written on my whiteboard, it says, did you ask somebody for money? That's really annoying. Hold on. All right, there we go. And I'm like, I don't really have anyone ask for money. We have some deals that are in the pipe, but nothing like super solid. And I start thinking about my clients that I currently have. Some of my clients that have been with me for a long time. And I'm like, why don't I just ask like one of them for money, right? Because, hold on guys, I gotta get this. I got like 100 things going on. There we go. Anyway, I'm like, why don't I just ask one of my current clients for money? Because they're already working with me. So let me just try and bump them up. I mean, it's an easy sale. So I look at one of my clients that's been with me for a while. I made over $50,000 with this one client, one website. And I spent about 30 minutes doing research. And I noticed, okay, there's some different services within his niche that we can target that we're not even targeting. We have a page, and I'll just give you the specifics. As a concrete guy, we've only been doing flat work, and he's expressed interest multiple times in decorative concrete and, you know, some commercial stuff, which whatever. So I go do the research, and by the way, we're only ranking in one city. So I do the research, and I'm like, dude, I think we could actually, and by the way, if you guys can't do this, don't do this, but I'm like, I know we can optimize for these different services, like the decorative concrete, the stained concrete, etc., the commercial stuff, and we could also target a couple cities. So I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna hit him with an offer. Call him up. I'm like, hey, can you talk? I said, I found an opportunity. I think we can get more leads. And he's like, well, let's talk tomorrow. And I said, all right, man. I said, if you could talk in a couple hours, that would be ideal. I said, I found a great opportunity in your area. And by tomorrow, I'm either going to be working with you or I'm going to be building another site working with somebody else. So if you can talk in a couple hours, that would be awesome. Lo and behold, I get a message back. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I can talk at 6 o'clock. I'm like, awesome. So I call the old chap up. I'm leaving, heading to the gym yesterday. I call him up and we chat. Literally, it was a 10-minute call. It was I think it was like 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I proposed the idea. I'm like, I'm going to build 3 service pages, 3 location pages, and you're going to pay me $125 more per week, okay? He's currently paying me $250 per week, which, by the way, is not $900 a month. It actually ends up being like $940, $950 because there's 52 weeks in a year. So I'm like, hey, if I go and hit him with a big bill or tell him whatever, I'm like, I'm just going to raise him $125 per week. Very simple, very similar to what he's already paying. And that's actually, and in his mind, it's $500 a month, but actually it's $540 a month. It's $6,500 a year, and it's $6,305 per year after the Stripe fees. So I call him up. He's like, dude, that makes a ton of sense. He, blah, blah, blah. He's like, if there's any way you could put my logo on the website, then we got a deal. And I'm like, done. And by the way, just for those of you that don't know this, you can put your customer's logo on the website. You just have to save it as a different file name, and it's no problem at all. You put in the footer that you're an affiliate of that person, whatever, to save yourself and cover yourself legally. And that's it, right? That's all I had to do. I increased my rate 120. By the way, we just signed a contract, so we're redoing the contract right now. It's a year contract. We're going to throw in there. We're going to raise it from 250 to, what is that going to be? 375. I just made, with a 10-minute phone call and 30 minutes of research and freaking not being scared to ask, $6,305 yesterday. Okay, just because I'm thinking about making an offer every single day. And you start to think about, like, how much money have you left on the table because you didn't ask somebody for money every single day. So not a bad day, not a bad use of 30 minutes of my time doing research, 10 minutes of my time doing a phone call on the way to the gym. By the way, I was double dipping, being productive, 2 birds with 1 stone, and making $6,305 in my pocket. I don't know about you guys, but that's a car payment. That's a couple of nice vacations. That's whatever. I don't know, whatever you're into. Maybe you're into other stuff, but I'll take $6,305 any day of the week. Guys, go ask somebody for money every single day, and it will change your business. I'm out.